It has a nefarious past. It proves my point that gives you what you want, not what you need. Hey guys, welcome to my living room. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day with some birds very aggressively chirping outside. Today we have a very exciting unboxing that made me run to the front door like a little kid to see if it had arrived yet. If you're new here, my name is Erin. I love unboxing plants, talking about plants. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe so you don't have any plant FOMO because we have fun here. This was a purchase from PlantStory. As usual, I was on Ecuador, California with Anna and the crew, just browsing for plants that I did not really need, but they're just so alluring. All right, here we are, the mandatory Ecuador, California heat pack to keep your plants warm and cozy throughout their journey so that they arrive to you safe and sound. Door number 1. Let's see what this is. We're starting out with a bang here. I have one of these already, but not like this. God, this looks fake. Half Moon Constellation Monstera. I mean, she is a vibe. Wow, splashy. This is gorge. I have pretty good luck with Constellation Monsteras. I feel like they are pretty non-fussy. This little bit here, though, is going to pose more of a challenge because I just have to provide adequate lighting for this. But any Constellation I have is pretty much blasted underneath the grow light with either the Russo PlantCare light, which is fabulous, and so I can help this little guy photosynthesize because he doesn't have the same bits of chlorophyll that his green counterparts have. But would you look at that? When I arrived on PlantStory, I did not have any intention of buying another Tycon. I couldn't say no. Gorgeous. These are pretty forgiving, less so if you overwater it. I feel like most Monsteras are. Big thing here is light, nutrients. In my recent Plant Mom plant care routine video, I talked about a Tycon I had that looked beautiful, but it kind of stopped pushing out leaves, and I think could have possibly potted it in too large of a pot. And so it's just taking its time filling out. There's a lot of action on the bottom, not much on the top here. So he has got mostly, it's pretty damp here, some coconut chip for light, coconut husk. I find a lot of my Ecuador plants come in this substrate. They do great, and so I just let it lie. And
just let it lie, okay?
Great, let it lie. That's my policy.
This is the larger one. Had it for a little over a year. We've got some aerial roots escaping here. There really hasn't been a blemish on this plant at all. That's not a smart thing to do, tipping substrate into your lap. Okay, there's been subsequent added fenestration with each leaf. The sure sign that your Constellation or any Monstera is happy is with each new leaf you have more fenestrations. Back you go. I just got this new pot for it. I think I'm liking this vibe here. Door number 2. So when I was on PlantStory this last couple weekends, it was really fun because I saw some of you also on it, which means I am not alone in my addiction for A, Ecuador, and B, PlantStory. It's more fun than somebody should have on an app. I know what this is. Okay, here it is, guys. Philodendron Spiritus Sancti. Smells really good and planty. This is a good size, too. Just take a moment to bask in oh God, this leaf is so luxurious feeling. So I don't know why I've never gotten one of these plants before. When these mature, they get so large and architectural, I finally could not stay away. Wonder what's happening here. We'll see what this decides to do. This plant is funny because this plant has a past. It has a nefarious past. It's been through some drama. Care-wise, it's whatever. The only thing that is kind of special about it, unlike a lot of my anthuriums that I love blasting with the grow light and giving them 1,000,000-foot candles, is that this one likes more like moderate light. It's a nowhere near your Philodendron UPI, which is like the Energizer Bunny, the plant that won't stop, you'll get some return on this. This is a good plant for those of you who like big leaf energy, because this can get real big. But back to the dark past. This plant has been stolen from the San Diego Botanic Garden. Now, I'm from San Diego, and conservatories are near and dear to my heart. When Vice TV makes a little documentary on a plant that's not a drug, you know it's serious. Somebody took a really large cutting of the Spiritus Sancti from the San Diego Botanic Garden, but you should check out the Vice TV video. It's kind of uncomfortable to watch. You'll have to let me know what you think, but the comment section is like, just get your popcorn. Its origins are Brazilian. Let's continue off of this tirade about the nefarious past of this plant. I will say this, although expensive, and probably that's maybe why I've waited so long to get one, expensive, yes, far less ridiculous than it used to be, even in the last couple of years when it was outrageous thousands of dollars. Tissue culture has also helped drive the price down, which I am all for. But this plant here, it's like, I don't want any of that drama. Just put me in a cool vessel. They've got some soaked paper towels on here. There's a lot of coconut chips and perlite. It's a little bit of a denser blend. I wish you could feel this. This makes me sad here. Look at those lobes. Our friend, the elusive Spiritus Sancti, who has now become more accessible and less of a precious and forbidden plant. Hopefully less foul play for this plant. This is the one I shouldn't have had. Going back to my Tycon, that will be my third. I didn't really need that one, so I really would like to do a giveaway, I think. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do that one so I can give one of you guys the smaller Tycon. I'm really asking for it, unwrapping it this way, aren't I? Don't get mad at me for this one. Ta-da! It's an Anor Regal, a plant that I have said several times I'm not going to buy anymore. But just look at this one. This is the reason why it proves my point that PlantStory gives you what you want, not what you need. And because you can see the plant that you're buying, that's why I picked this one. Who could say no to this perfection? Full disclaimer, I feel like I've gotten better at keeping these regales alive. I have one in Leca up here that's doing quite well here. And this seedling is still, it's doing better than fine in this fluval. So I'm going to say that this Regal seedling has really, it's got a new emergent here coming out. So we have all of the substrates except for pawn represented. I have not tried that one. I don't think I'm going to attempt it with this new plant because it's too pretty and I would be devastated to lose it. I only got this because it was so insanely cool. I feel like I've had better luck putting a little bit of damp sphagnum moss on the top here. Because I grow in ambient, I don't have that same level of humidity that the grow cabinet is going to give me, but that's also the whole vibe here. I like living amongst the plants. I've had to make a couple different concessions. There's some good ones here today, man. Nothing good happens when you don't have much to do and then you go onto PlantStory, because visually these guys can't say no to these velvety guys. There's just so much texture. I love this sinus. Are we pregnant here? Looks like we might be. 3 leaves on a regale is a lot of bang for the buck here. This is pretty high yield. As usual, I'll give you an update on how these are doing. The queen of the living room from one of the last plant stories is still doing amazing. She is still living her best life. Please don't laugh at me too much for buying another Anthurium Regal. I already feel weird about that. Good morning, y'all. Let's do a Saturday morning plant inspection of these very small children located in the guest room. See how the little seedlings from PlantStory are doing. So here they are looking cute as a button in these little cloches. The Woohoo Tropicals Red Crystallinum has gotten, that's the biggest leaf so far. It's really sized up. Came with these little guys here. Smaller. In fact, those have gotten bigger. I have it on this little heat mat here because these are some corms I have, and then some Russo seeds, anthurium seeds that have just recently sprouted, growing in some moss, looking adorbs. This is a Doriaki Red Crystallinum from Instagram. And perhaps the most impressive are these 2 anthurium from Nice Plants Good Pots. Let me show you this. Holy oil slick. This is the newest emergent on this guy. That looks about as healthy as it gets. And then this guy, I think this guy was tiny when I got him and grew. This is just the new emergent. So both have pushed out new leaves. All of these PlantStory seedlings have been doing great and have been doing all kinds of growing. So, but this color is just so fun to look at. I mean, imagine when it gets larger. So seems to be happy under their little cloches. It's always a trick putting them back on, I'll tell you that. Ta-da! I think the truly impressive one we really want to see, though, is this red crystallinum
From the homebody. Get out of here with this color. It doesn't even look real.
That's doing well. And look at this guy. Future Aaron is here, and I'm happy to report, though, remember this leaf how we trip out on the leaf unfurling and what's happening, but it actually looks really good. This is the newest one. It's a little bit skinnier. So I feel like I was fat shaming this leaf a little bit. The morphology changes so much. So this has actually gotten a little bit skinnier. It's still very different from my colleague Eric's plant. His is a little bit less mature, and you could see more juvenile shape, the little bit of a smaller lobe, but this unfurled beautifully. And I think it looks really nice. It was pretty damp when I got it. I've let it dry out a little bit. And like I said, this is in a pretty dense mix, so we'll see how it likes it. Happy to report that we are moving along in the correct direction over here with this guy. Another great set of purchases from PlantStory. Oh, so PlantStory will now be the app formerly known as PlantStory. It's rebranding to Palm Street. So already on your app, those of you who are already on it as much as I am, you've noticed the icon has changed a little bit. Same functionality. It's the same thing. Rebranding. They're going to have a few different types of products other than plants in addition to plants, which is cool. I'm going to post a link down in the description of the video in case you want to check it out yourself. You can download the app so you can get in on the plant buying fun. And again, maybe I will see some of you on there. Thanks so much for watching. Wishing you all the big leaf energy, and I will see you next time.